Hey you guys, hey, welcome. And I wanted to do on this video of Rob and Marvy what it's like to earn a living, how we earn a living by teaching English as a nomad online in my underwear. So this was, yes, I'm wearing pants now just to avoid any censorship or someone complaining to Amazon or YouTube and then having a strike against me or something. So but I'll show you later on how why I call it working in your underwear. You probably already know. So I'm answering a video because I had I've had quite a few people over time ask me privately and also in messages what it's like and what it takes to teach. So this video is going to be on that. So if you're not interested, you can just skip it, or if you like it for entertainment purposes, please watch, like and subscribe as you guys always do, and share. And that's it. Let's go in and let's talk about it. Whew, boy, I've got my coffee. It's early morning, and what a beautiful time to teach English. Although it's Saturday, it's my day off, and I'm spending my time with you instead of my students, which is in many ways much more satisfying. Okay, so to speak real quickly, how do you teach English, or why would you teach English as a nomad in your underwear? Well, as you can see, well, you can't see, but I'm not wearing any pants. That may be true or may not, but my whole point with that is that you have a lot more freedom when you're not, I mean, I could choose just to teach English in my underwear as long as I've got kind of from this up, dressed nicely, which gives you a lot more casual effect. Now, I don't think, based on my last video, I probably could have just worn underwear at Amazon, or if you're a camp host, or certainly you wouldn't want to do it during the sugar beet harvest. So this does give you a lot more freedom to do this. So why would you want, let me move this here. This, by the way, is my office. Let's take a look at it. When you can teach English when you are in your van, in your RV, it's a little bit more crowded. When I do that, in the van, I use this little extension for my phone, and this works just fine. I sit up in the front seat. If you're in anything smaller in a car, that might be more of a challenge, but I still think you can make one of these things work. This is really cool. I'll put a link below for Amazon for this gooseneck, or this adjustable attachable thing for your phone. It's really wonderful. I really do like it. Anyway, if you look inside right now, I'm teaching in my tent, my 10 by 14 Kodiak tent. And I set this up when we're anywhere for more than like a week, 5 days or 10 days. It just gives me a lot of room out of the wind. I can edit, I can work, I can stand up and think about things. So I really enjoy it. But if you can see this is the office space, and you can see I have my computer, I have my iPad, I have my phone. You can't see it maybe, but I have an extension cord coming in, and then I have my notepad, a notepad for taking notes and writing things down for the students. I don't always type while I'm teaching. It's sometimes, I'm old school, it's easier just to write for me. A lot of you are thinking about, what do I do on the road for money? Okay, and is it possible? So I've been doing this for over 7 years, and I have my degree in English. I have a bachelor's degree in English. I have certifications to teach English as a foreign language through a company called Bridge, and then I also have been certified online through Cambridge University to teach IELTS, or international test preparation. When people want to move from another country, they have to qualify, depending if they want to go to work or school, to have a certain level of certification in English. And so I've got that certificate also. Do you need a college degree? Do you need these certifications? We're going to talk about that. But let me go through the pros and the cons so you can decide before I go any further if it's right for you, okay? First of all, the pros. You're the boss. You're in control. If you want to take a week or two off and you think you're going to maintain your private or your students that are given to you from a school, if you work for an online school, you can take whatever time off you want. You can change your hours as much as accordingly. Yeah, my computer keeps going down. You can work anywhere. So I moved to Mexico for 5 years and I taught in Mexico. And this week I'm teaching here in Nevada in the desert. Last week I was in Seattle, Washington, and between then, as I travel state to state, Idaho I taught, Oregon I taught, Utah I taught, and now I'm here. So there's freedom in traveling, which is perfect for a nomad. You get paid through PayPal for the most part. Most of these companies that hire you, or students, if you have private students, most of them know about PayPal and they can do PayPal. Job security. You have job security. You're not going to be fired by your boss. You're not going to be laid off or prevented to work. Like it has happened in COVID. This is a great COVID job, a great period for people to work. It's ageless and physicalless, which basically means as you get to be an old fart, you can still work. In fact, you have more credibility. I've had some students that say, oh, I chose you because you're older, and so you must know more, which is not true. But the whole point is, when I'm 70 or 75, I can see myself still teaching. I don't think I could do the beet harvest at 75 or even Amazon. So this is something that as you accumulate experience, the job gets easier, which is great because as you get older, and also physical. I wasn't really able to work graveyards at Amazon. I sure really don't want to work in freezing weather in the beet harvest or do any heavy physical labor. There is no physical requirements to this job. So if you break your legs, if you happen to be handicapped or disabled in a wheelchair or paraplegic or whatever on the road, there are no limitations for that. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So as long as you're a good teacher, that's the thing. It's weather free. Again, the beet harvest and some of these outside jobs are dependent on the weather. So like a lot of the camp hosting jobs are available only in the spring through early autumn because that's when people go camping. Or the beet harvest is dependent on a certain season. And even then, sometimes you lose days because of snow or rain or things like that. This isn't dependent on any weather at all. Okay, so those are all of the great pros about it. You can also decide and choose your own income, depending again on your certifications and who you choose to work for, or if you choose to work for yourself. Okay, the cons. Nowadays, you're going to have a 1099, so you're going to have to figure that as far as part of your income, a legitimate income. You only get paid if you're working. So if you have 5 hours of students canceled for that day and scheduled, and then 2 students canceled, you're not getting paid for that. Lots of jobs, you go to work, you can chat around the coffee pod, walk back to your chair, whatever, and it's still paid time. So this is more an honest job. You get paid for actually doing work. Trust. A lot of times initially you're going to start maybe with an international company in China or Russia or someplace, and if it's not a really well-established company, you run the risk of being conned. Okay, so you have to be a little careful. Check out your employer if you're going to be working for someone a little carefully, because there's no international laws that are going to go after a lot of these companies. But nowadays, it's been around long enough, so there's a lot of security if you look into that. You need a reliable internet. If someone who like to go boondocking, this has been my greatest challenge. Is like right now I'm at Government Wash outside of Las Vegas, and I'm sitting on 3 or 4 bars, or if you do decibels, which are more reliable, I've got a minus 75 to 80, which is excellent. in decibels. So, but it's not that way a lot. Sometimes I have struggled and students have been frustrated because the internet keeps freaking out. So that's my biggest drawback of working online is I'm really limited. Like, forget Quartzsite or even Ehrenberg. I've tried it and I get 2 bars the best, and then sometimes when people wake up and start streaming their Netflix videos and stuff, I'm dead in the water. It's very hard. So we don't camp in those areas because internet's just so difficult to get, and you need it to stream your video conferencing. So you've got to choose places that do have some kind of reliable internet. All right. The last thing is teaching is not easy. So if you're looking to be on the road, oh, this is going to be real fun, I can just jump online and teach. You know, my name is Rob. What is your name? And then you click off it. It's not that way. You do have to know your grammar. You do have to know a lot, because these students oftentimes are educated very well, more so than Americans, on how to speak and their grammar. A lot of them are using you for conversational practice. So if you don't know as much as they do, you can be in trouble. So you can lose credibility. So you really want to make sure you study all parts of grammar. It took me a while, even though I have an English degree, it was literature, not grammar. And when I first started, I had some difficulty with some of the more difficult parts, and I lost credibility with some students. You have to love teaching, and you have to be excited about learning English, all the grammar points and all of that. Also, resources. You have to dive into many different types of resources. Okay, I'm going to put in some of them. I'm going to be putting in links down below and maybe up here somewhere, just so you can look at them, but you're going to find all the links I talk about below. Okay, that's that. I'm speaking really quickly, dumping a lot of information your way. So right now, what do you think? If you think it's something that might work for you, or if it's not, this is your time to go, I'm out of here. Or maybe you already did that, but then you wouldn't be watching me right now if you were gone. So let's go on a little bit further, and I'm going to give you some details and fill in some things that I spoke before. First of all, the biggest thing that people ask, besides those standard things, is, do I need a college degree? Do I need certification? And the answer is nope. You're not, well, we'll go through all of that stuff, but, okay, so what we're going to talk about are all of the basic requirements you need to teach online. And first of all, I went over the internet, absolute must to get started on this. You need a video conferencing tool. I choose Skype because most people use Skype. Some people want Zoom, but that's more of a conferencing group. Skype has the ability to maintain your typing conversation with students as a record, so you can go back if you've sent them files or anything, and you have that. Other people use Google Docs, so there's a lot of resources, but you've got to have a good conferencing or video tool with sound, and you've got to have a good microphone. People have to hear you clearly. So that's number one, is Zoom, or my favorite would be the free program Skype. Again, a good camera and microphone, good lighting. So you want to make sure if you're teaching in a van, and you happen to be working nighttime, do you have lighting, good lighting? You know, people they want to teach from somebody where they feel it's good. So you can get these little camera, like they're round with a soft light, or they can be square for cameras and for vlogging and things like that, and that provides enough light, and you can plug in, it usually has a USB attachment, but you need good lighting and quiet. So you've just got to be aware of that you've got to respect the students. They're paying a lot of money sometimes, sometimes up to $30 or $35 an hour to these teaching sites, and then they pay you less than half of that. But these students are putting out a lot of money, so you need that. Again, we talked about number one priority, stable internet. You've got to think about that if you're going to do teaching online and being a nomad, that you're going to be limited to where you're traveling and camping as a nomad. Okay, so let's talk about education and levels of qualifications. Okay, basically, if you have no college, no certifications, can you teach? Yes, you can. You can even teach without any grammar knowledge. Good luck. You're not going to get paid very much, but it's a good way to get your feet wet. There's a company called Italki, and it's a Chinese company. They've been around since, I think, 98 or something. I joined them around 2013 or 14, and I was one of the first. I think there were only maybe 50 English teachers or 60 of us at the time. There were teachers that teach other things, and now I don't even go on because they have a total of 5,000 teachers, and I don't even know if they're accepting teachers anymore, but you can try. But you can either be a certified or non-certified teacher. If you're non-certified, people are not going to want to pay very much. But whatever you charge, Italki takes 15%. So you want to make sure that you've got a rate that you're going to get, and also you're competing with a lot of people. You've got to be able to make a video of yourself and a presentation video so the students can watch it and see whether they want to take classes. So the answer is yes, you can teach without a degree or a certification, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. But on the other hand, it's a good way to cut your teeth and make your mistakes and all of that stuff. The next level is no college degree with a certification. Now the pay is going to be much better, and when I'm saying much better, I'm really talking about probably $7 to $10 around there an hour. Yeah, you're going to make more money, working at Amazon easily, or even at a fast food joint. But keep in mind, this is you're your own boss, and think about things we've talked about. And a lot more online companies will hire you without a college degree. They just want to make sure that you have the certification. So when I say certification, what do I mean? It's an online, you can get certified to teach English online, TEFL, TOEFL, teaching English as a foreign language, or a general teaching certificate. So where do you get them? There's a million places, but one of the most respected ones is called Bridge, and that's where I got my certification. And which one did I get? I got the master certification course for it's 120 hours. That's the minimum, and that will actually get you in just about to any school around. It's a 120-hour course. I think currently at this time, October 2021, I think it's just under $400. They listed at $790, but it's on sale. But I think it's always been $397. And it's a 120-hour course, and you have to go to the website. I'll put it up here, or it's certainly down below, so you can check that out. The nice thing about it, it's incredibly reputable, and they have other certifications that you can go on. Besides having your general classroom one, they have an online one you can do to teaching English online, and other certifications too. So that would be the bare minimum, I would say, that if you wanted to really make this a go. The next one, of course, would be you have the college degree and then the world is your oyster. There's a huge demand. There are millions of students that are looking to learn English, and you can get you can get a job just about anywhere online. There are a lot of companies that are looking. Let me go back to the one up above. If you don't have a college degree, but you do have a certification, I'm going to put a list below, a link below in the notes, but I might flash it up here real quick too. And this will be a website that lists 11 companies that will hire you. Without a college degree, but you'll need your certification. When you have your certification and a college degree, again, you can go anywhere. I also have some online company suggestions that will list, I don't know, like 30 online companies that will give you options. It's all trial and error, folks. It's, you know, the internet, it's like the Wild West. You know, there's a lot of these teaching platforms, and some of these are great. If you're freelancing, you don't have to, I mean, you have to develop your own material, things like that. There is one website called Off to Class, and it's kind of expensive, but they've got a whole teaching platform that you can follow and sign your students up for, and it's called Off to Class. I'll put the link below. And I did that when I first started because it was really nice and easy to go through everything, and you can check them out and see if that kind of, if you're freelancing and you're getting students on your own privately, this is a great way to teach them. I also used it when I worked for another company because they didn't have what we call a teaching platform. Okay, so I work both. I work privately, and then I work also with a Russian company, and they're filled, so I don't want to give you that information. But that's who I work for. The other thing is, remember, these students are all over the world. So for me, with Russia, they start around 5 in the evening and work till 11 at night. Want to take classes up till 11 at night or sometimes midnight. That works for me because that's like 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning until 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I'm an early riser, so then I have the rest of the afternoon to do whatever I want, and I choose my own schedule. Some of these schools only offer 10 hours. Some of them will offer up to 20 or 25 hours. Teaching is tiring. When you talk for 5 hours a day and you're paying attention to each student and you're making notes and giving them assignments and things, it's a little difficult. But folks, keep in mind, it's a learning curve. It's something that you're going for the marathon, the long run. So it's very difficult at first to cut your teeth at this. Unless you already have been a teacher of some kind in your life, then you know what it is. But I can tell you now, it was pretty difficult the first year or two. Made a lot of mistakes, looked like an idiot more than once in front of students. But now I maintain my students over a long period of time because I've developed all of those skills. So just kind of keep in mind that it's nothing that it's going to be overwhelming at first for you, but it's a great option for you to do teaching online. So besides teaching online, is there anything else as far as teaching English that you may want to do? Well, one would be to start your own website that would support your teaching. And with a website, you may want to decide, first of all, what do you want it to do? If you think people are going to find your website, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Every major school is paying buco bucks to have theirs show up at the top of the channel Google. So even if you're to pay for AdWords and all of that stuff, you are going to be so far down in the pages that people aren't going to notice it. And a lot of students will search in their own language. So that makes it even more difficult. Unless you were to do something where it specifically says, you know, teaching English in, you know, Cleveland, Ohio, and you had all of this stuff, but generally it doesn't. So my website I use as a reference point. I put some videos up, I put some pricing if people want to sign up and they can contact me directly. I might put free lesson plans. I know some people that do it and they actually turn it into a commerce so that when they drive students to their website, you can buy little books, ebooks that they've created and things like that as a support income. The other thing you can do is a YouTube channel, and I'm rebuilding mine right now. I have a woman I knew who started teaching about the same time I did, and I wanted to go into teaching publicly, I mean like this, live, and she decided to do her own YouTube channel. Well, I didn't understand YouTube and the power of people watching videos and you getting advertising out of it. And she's got, I don't know, almost 3 million subscribers. She's got over 300 videos, and yeah, she's making quite a bit of money, and she's not working anymore. anymore. So, I mean, she's creating videos, but if she's sick or she doesn't want to work or she retires, that income stream is going to be coming for quite some time. So that's something to consider too. You've got to be dynamic. You've got to, don't be boring, because all of that information about English is out there. Everybody has a YouTube channel and everybody does it, and most of them are really bad, but the ones that are good really make money. But everybody's talking about conjunctions or prepositions. They all have their special little thing. Google says, search for something, you know, learn English phrasal verbs or something, and you're going to find 100 different channels and people doing ridiculous stuff. But if you have an angle, a great personality, you can film when it's convenient for you and just start putting videos up and build an audience, and that's a great thing to do. So anyway, I've spoken a lot. I don't know if I can edit very much out of this, because I think everything I've said has a lot of content in it. So I hope everything makes sense to you. If this is something that you want to do, great. Please don't ask me any specific questions. I don't want to turn this into a long-term tutoring class. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.